New this morning, as the weather is warming up, we will start to see more motorcyclists on our roads. CSP as a reminder in this first full year of Colorado's lane filtering law. 9 News transportation specialist Brianna Fernandez joins us live near I-25 this morning. And Brianna, Colorado State Patrol wants to make sure that everyone on the road knows the law before they hit the road.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because lane filtering, that law went into effect last August, so it really hasn't even been a full year. But Colorado State Patrol tells me that there's still a little bit of confusion out on the roads when it comes to lane filtering versus lane splitting. So here's this video, just a quick reminder for everyone out on the roads, especially like Erica mentioned, summer months is right around the corner. So lane filtering can only happen when cars are stopped at a red light or in traffic. Motorcycles can legally pass cars on the left at 15 miles per hour, and they cannot swerve into other lanes. Now, drivers should watch their mirrors and let motorcycles filter back into regular traffic when it begins to move. Riders must filter from the left side. You can't come in from the right. Now, while it might seem like these riders are cutting in line, it's actually meant to keep them safe and keep traffic moving. CSP made it clear this is very, very different from lane splitting. That allows drivers to go on the dotted line. So that's legal in other states like California, but illegal here in our state. I actually spoke to Trooper Mendez. She says while drivers are still adjusting to the new law, if you see someone not following the lane filtering law, you can report it.
We would tell them to dial star CSP or star 277 and report the motorcyclist, try to get a license plate, the description of the motorcycle, as well as a description of the driver, just so that the troopers can follow up.
So coming up in the next hour right here on KTVD, I actually dug into some data to see if Colorado State Patrol has seen an uptick when it comes to this new law and when it went into effect. I'm going to break that down for you here on KTVD coming up at 8. For now, I'm live here in Denver. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News.
All right, Brianna, thank you. New overnight right now, we are trying to get more answers for you about a crash on I-25 that shut down a couple of lanes last night. All we know right now is that this happened on the southbound side of the interstate sometime around 10 p.m. near Baseline Road. This was the best view that we could get from our CDOT cameras. Now, you can't see much except for all of that backed up traffic from that crash. We don't know how many cars were involved in the crash or if anyone was hurt.
This morning, we're learning more about 2 Coloradans who joined more than 200 academic leaders condemning the Trump administration's efforts to dictate policies of private universities in exchange for federal funding. DU Chancellor Jeremy Hafner and Colorado College Interim President Manya Whitaker signed on to a public statement. It says the administration's, quote, unprecedented government and political interference is endangering American higher education. The Trump administration has either paused or threatened to pause billions of dollars in federal funding for Columbia, the University of Pennsylvania, Princeton, and Harvard. The government says it's an effort to address anti-Semitism on campus.
The Department of Education has announced that the government will resume collecting on defaulted student loans beginning May 5th, and some borrowers may also be referred to a collection service. More than 5 million borrowers are currently in default on their federal student loans. Both referrals for collection and student loan payments were put on hold in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But now that those programs have expired starting next month, the department could also start collecting from borrowers in default by taking from their paychecks, tax refunds, or other means.
A restriction on deportations from Colorado will stay put for now. A federal judge extended an order temporarily preventing the Trump administration from moving or deporting anyone in the state under the Alien Enemies Act without 21 days notice. In the judge's ruling, District Court Judge Charlotte Sweeney expressed skepticism that the government can legally use that 18th century law. It's only been invoked 3 times, and the latest time was during World War II. The U.S. Supreme Court still hasn't heard arguments about whether President Trump can use it against the Venezuelan gang TDA. The deportation freeze will stay in place until at least May 6th.
Right now, some immigrants in the U.S. without proper documentation are worried about going to church. They're afraid they're going to be picked up by federal agents, and that's why a church in Colorado Springs is bringing services to them. Iglesia Nueva Vida says that they have many immigrants in their congregation, and that's why they're now broadcasting services to members who fear deportation. Pastors are even taking trips in some cases to some of their homes.
Before you bring the solution, you have to say, I understand your pain. It's important that look at people in the eyes and say, hey, we're here because we love you.
Within the past couple of months, Immigration and Customs Enforcement changed its old policy to allow agents to arrest migrants at sensitive locations like churches and other places of worship.
Members of the public are now allowed to pay their respects to the late Pope Francis. His body was transferred to St. Peter's Basilica today during a procession. He will lie in state there, leading to his funeral mass on Saturday. Meanwhile, the cardinals will determine the start of the conclave that will choose the next pope.